Hello. This is a new kind of video. Hopefully it's the start of a series as well as the start of more Storytime videos, but we'll see. Um, so I hope you're having a good day, and I guess this is a story time about a particularly bad teacher I had. So I think everybody knows those like few bad teachers. I mean, I definitely know a few. I have a few who are kind of on the fence, and I don't really know if they're bad. But today we're focusing on a particular teacher I had about a year ago. Now, he was an English teacher. For the sake of this video, his name will be Mr. Ross. Now, Mr. Ross wasn't too bad at first. He seemed like he was kind of getting used to teaching in America. Well, he wasn't from the States, so he had spent his last few years teaching in some other countries. I think the first red flag was when he said we weren't going over summer reading. Now, this was a huge problem as everyone except for, two people had spent hours doing this project. Mr. Ross just threw it out of the window. He didn't even say it counted as extra credit. It was just a non-existent grade. It was really fucking stupid, and I could definitely have boosted my grade up a bit. Another thing Mr. Ross did early on in the year was essays. He gave us a lot, and I mean a lot of essays, but they were in a really weird format. Like last year we had a different English teacher, and the year before, we had a different English teacher, and we learned the more or less standard way of writing essays. By the way, I've never really understood why there can't just be a universal format of writing essays. It's really weird. It seems like every teacher has their own way. But that being said, this went on for like a month, and then he randomly stopped. Like 1 week, Mr. Ross just randomly stopped giving us essays. It was so weird. He then announced we were going to read the book Night. It's actually a really good book. It's written by a Holocaust survivor named Elie Wiesel, and it's a memoir about the Holocaust. It's pretty good, but the problem was that we had read the book over the summer. Like this was the mandatory book that we had to read, and it was really stupid as more than 3/4 of the class had read it. But whatever, we read the book, right? Another problem rose up. We spent like 4 months reading this one book. I am not even kidding. It became so tedious and annoying that it almost ruined the book for me. Mr. Ross also gave us questions which sometimes even he didn't know the answers to. Like, he asked us who started the resistance in the camp, and I, like a normal person and a official history nerd, put the Jews because, they were in the camp, so they did the internal resistance, obviously. But no, according to Mr. Ross, it was in fact the Americans. First of all, they arrived later, they were full-on military, and they weren't in the camp already, so by definition, they weren't a resistance. Stupid thing was that Mr. Ross was one of those teachers that gave you like 2 tests a quarter. I think everybody knows that like one teacher who gives you like 2 or 3 tests every semester and then kind of goes like, well, good luck, and then listen, some teachers can do that and I'll still like him. I've had 1 or 2 teachers who gave me like 3 tests a quarter and I still liked him. But Mr. Ross was not one of those teachers. It was really annoying, and his essays, when we did write essays, felt extremely useless. I am not even kidding. Another pretty stupid thing was that Mr. Ross particularly targeted this one girl in my class, right? Like, if everyone was talking, he would randomly go like, and for the purpose of this video, my friend's name, let's say, was Emily, right? He would go like, shut up, Emily. It was really dumb, because again, everybody was talking. Like, we could all be screaming in the class. Every single one of us. And no, sometimes Emily wasn't even talking. And he would still go like, shut up, Emily. And it was it's kind of funny, but I guess, like, for her, it wasn't really funny. And also, it got pretty annoying after a while for everyone else as well. It was really dumb, because there were these 3 kids who got away with being on their phones in class. Well, one of them not as much, because he sat in the front desk. Front row. But so that happened less. But the other 2 were always on their phones. Like, I am not even kidding. They were constantly on their phones. Now, they were foreign exchange students. So Mr. Ross always said that they were on their translators when we brought up the fact that he yelled at Emily but never at the 2 kids in the back. However, it was really obvious that they were on TikTok. Like, all the time. They were on TikTok. Literally, if you looked at their phones, you would see them scrolling through TikTok. I think there was this one time when literally they accidentally had audio. They accidentally turned on their audio, and it was really funny because the audio went off and Mr. Ross didn't do anything. But okay, I'm not sure if Mr. Ross just showed favoritism or if he was just oblivious, but hey. Now, the funny thing is that overall, Mr. Ross was a really nice guy. Like, sometimes after school, back when there was no COVID, obviously, I would play some pickup basketball or go to my friend's house after the student council meeting. Mr. Ross would always say hi to me and then ask me how I was doing and such, and in general, he was really nice in class. Well, he was really nice in class to everyone except for Emily, but, like, overall, he was kind of nice, I guess. Lastly, this teacher actually ended up being so bad that he got transferred to elementary school after like half of the year. And then he left or got fired at the end of the year. I really don't know. My guess would be that he got fired, but obviously my school doesn't tell me. But yeah, again, I think he probably got fired. I guess some students put in complaints. Probably Emily, to be honest. I think she literally threatened to complain once or twice. But, I guess it was fair. And the headmaster listened to the complaints and whatnot. And so, not even kidding, after the first half of the year he was teaching elementary school, we had a new teacher. I'm just going to go off on a side note here. Our new English teacher, she was kind of old, and, like, old people and internet don't go very well together. So, when we went online, she, was, we didn't really have any calls. So her class was literally a freebie because, again, she didn't know how to use calls. She was just like, she just posted a PDF of a book and was like, read it and then answer these questions. And and it was pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie, but yeah. So that's how Mr. Ross got fired. So yeah, Mr. Ross was kind of chill sometimes, but overall, he was definitely one of the worst teachers I've ever had. Some of my friends think he was the worst, period. I mean, I'm sure Emily thinks she was the worst one we ever had. But yeah, that's the story of Mr. Ross. Now, before I end the video, just a quick announcement. I'll probably be uploading a lot of these, like, story times in the next couple of weeks, or I'll be trying to at least. I'm very busy, very, very busy right now. So I can't really record background gameplay, but I am writing a lot of scripts. I really enjoyed making this story time, so I think I'll start doing these types of videos a lot, probably around next week. So thank you to anyone who actually watched this, I guess. I really hope you enjoyed it. Really does mean a lot to me. I wish you the best, and I guess have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.